But we begin right now with News Channel 5's Phil Williams and his continuing investigation on the role of state troopers cracking down on those mothers during hearings yesterday. Phil.
You know, facing legal action for what went down yesterday at the state capitol, one Republican leader apologized today. But as hearings continued, it was not clear whether state troopers should have been put into this situation in the first place. Emotions ran high as a House committee convened in response to the Covenant School shooting, voted to allow more guns in school, including arming teachers and allowing handgun permit holders as well as active duty and retired military to carry guns in schools.
I apologize to folks who felt offended yesterday about what happened, but unfortunately it did. There's nothing we can do about it, but we don't want it to happen again.
The day began with a victory when a Davidson County judge issued an emergency order allowing activists to engage in quiet acts of protest using small handheld signs. The order came in response to a lawsuit filed by the ACLU.
This is not what democracy looks like.
That lawsuit filed in response to state troopers being used Tuesday to eject protesters who violated a newly adopted House rule designed to clamp down on dissent during this special session.
And I can't believe my name was called, and this is a personal order. But I want to.
Yeah,
This isn't a speech. I'm asked for an apology. I'm giving that member a chance. If that's not going to happen, then so be it.
I cannot believe that we have taken what is a school tragedy of a mass shooting in a school and now turn that here in the General Assembly into a travesty of democracy.
Powell put blame on the subcommittee chairman, Lowell Russell, a retired state trooper.
This is shocking. I'm shocked. I'm outraged that this has happened, and we need an apology for that. That should not be allowed.
What does it say that armed state troopers were used to suppress dissent in the House?
What it says is that we have arrived in a very scary and sad place in the state of Tennessee where we are using troopers instead of working to enforce the public safety. They're being used to suppress democracy.
In preparation for this special session, the Highway Patrol brought in an army of state troopers. Those troopers have been used to put the state capitol on a virtual lockdown, limiting the number of Tennesseans who are allowed inside to witness the debate with their own eyes. That despite a state law that lays out just two basic duties for the Highway Patrol. They patrol state highways and enforce all laws regulating traffic on and use of those highways, and they assist the Department of Revenue and county clerks in the collection of all taxes and revenue going to the state.
Clearly, in the past few years, we've seen the state troopers become a militarized force on behalf of members of the General Assembly. This has been going on for a long time, the coziness between the Highway Patrol and the General Assembly.
News Channel 5 legal analyst Nick Leonardo notes that the Highway Patrol's role around the Capitol has continued to expand, putting troopers into more and more difficult situations.
Your time is up.
Troopers face criticisms for how they removed Occupy Nashville protesters from War Memorial Plaza in 2011. And renewed criticisms in 2020 for their sometimes volatile confrontations with demonstrators on the so-called People's Plaza.
I mean, we're seeing hundreds and hundreds of state troopers that are now there to enforce house rules and ultimately violate people's constitutional rights, and namely the right to free speech and the right to gather.
Nick Leonardo says he thinks there are serious legal questions here, especially since just quietly holding up a sign is not a crime. We reached out to the THP and the Department of Safety today for comment to ask if they think what they're being asked to do is legal, but because of the ACLU lawsuit, they declined to comment. Carrie?
Phil, thank you.